Hello, dear students. How are you? I hope you're fine. Last week, there were no video classes, but from this week, we are resuming it again. Knowledge becomes power when we put it into use. Robert Solow, an economist, said that. Obviously, knowing only would not be enough until and unless what you know is applied. And when we come towards economics, economics is all application. So, whatever you're learning, whatever you're studying, you will soon put it in the use when you will be there in your practical lives. Even that knowledge can be used now. So, please know in order to apply, not just for the sake of knowing. Today, our topic is growth of firms. We are going to study internal growth. And this is Hussein Raza, your economics instructor, going to discuss that. Objectives of today's lesson is to understand the meaning of internal growth. When a firm grows internally, what does it mean? We are going to study that. And then after that, we are going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of internal growth. Let's start our lesson. Internal growth takes place when firm grows by increasing its output to sell more. Mind it, a firm can grow internally in four ways. It can grow by selling the same product more in the same market, or it can grow by selling the same product in the new market. It can grow by selling a new product in the same market, or a new product in a new market. In all the cases, the firm will have to take its scale of production from a small scale to large scale. Firm would be spending on research and development, would be spending on development of the product, marketing it, launching it, right? So, internal growth takes place when a firm expands its output from a small scale to large scale by selling the same product more or developing new products. And obviously, for that, the firm will have to employ more factors of production and will have to do a lot of things along in order to grow internally. So, mind it that internal growth means that when a firm takes initiative at itself and produces on a large scale as compared to before. However, external growth takes place by takeovers and mergers, but for the time being, that is not our discussion. Our discussion for today is internal growth and its advantages and disadvantages. So I'm repeating once more only, one more time only, that internal growth takes place when a firm expands its output from a small scale to large scale, and that could be due to selling the same product more or developing new products for the same market or the new market. When a firm grows internally, it enjoys certain cost saving advantages due to which its per unit cost of production or average total cost falls. And when average total cost falls, obviously the profitability of the firm increases, and a firm's growth is more insured. Mind it that internal growth will give certain cost saving advantages, which means the per unit cost of the firm would fall because of that expansion, and that would benefit in more profits and growth of the firm from a small scale to large scale. And in the future, firm can grow in multiple ways. It can become an international industry firm, it can become a multinational firm, and that all happens because of the benefits of large scale production, which are the cost saving advantages enjoyed by a firm when it takes its production from its small scale to large scale. And we classify those benefits into six types. And I'm going to discuss that. Number one, bulk buying economies. When a firm produces on a large scale, it purchases on a large scale. And when it purchases on a large scale, it can avoid retailers and can directly buy from wholesalers or distributor. हेलो, बंद करो इसको, अभी जाओ, अभी रुक जाओ. Sorry for a little interruption. When a firm produces it, it's on a large scale, it buys on a large scale. When it buys on a large scale, it can avoid buying from the retailer, it can directly buy from the wholesaler or the distributor. That's why its cost of purchases would go down. Or if it is buying from the same seller, when it is buying on a large scale, it will receive discounts. And as a result, the per unit cost of the firm will go down. Technical economies occur when a firm can increase its technology, can improve its technology, or can buy machinery, or it can acquire its own resources. For example, when a firm becomes larger, it does not require outsourcing, and its multiple stage production takes place on its own production floor, and it does not have to take services of other industries or other firms, or at least it is minimized because of its own acquiring of the technology. It can buy its own recycling equipment, it can buy all of its machinery itself, and there would be no need of outsourcing. And obviously, the average total cost or low per unit cost of the firm would fall, and that is referred as technical economies. Managerial economies occurs when a firm employs specialist managers. For example, if a specialist human resource manager would be employed, it would be in a position to reduce the per unit cost of the firm by reducing the absenteeism rate, by reducing the labor turnover, by reducing the reject rate, and by employing a serious and dedicated workforce for the firm. As a result, the per unit cost or average total cost of the firm would fall because of that, right? And this is referred as managerial economies. I'm repeating that managers, if specialist managers can be appointed, and those specialist managers know how to reduce the costs further and how to maximize the revenues and then profits of the firm. When we talk about financial economies, it means that a large firm can raise funds for its expansion comparatively easily and at a lower cost. Obviously, banks will lend large amounts of money to large firms comparatively at a lower interest rate for longer period of times, and this facility cannot be enjoyed by small firms. Or a large firm can become a private limited or public limited company and can issue shares and debentures and can raise funds from the general public to grow or to take its output from small scale and large scale. And the firm is able to do so because it has greater assets, it has greater credibility, it has a long trading record, it has a goodwill because of which banks are ready to lend them and they can raise funds from other sources as well. Then comes risk bearing economies. A large firm produces a large range of goods and services. For example, if we talk about Unilever or if we talk about Procter and Gamble, they produce a vast variety of goods. Therefore, if one or two products are giving losses to them, for example, if they have launched some new product and if it is not becoming successful soon and the firm is incurring losses, it won't make a difference to the firm because firm can easily compensate the losses of loss making product from the profit making product, right? In A2 we use the term of cross subsidization, that a firm is subsidizing its the losses of the loss making product from the profits of the profit making product, because a large firm has already launched many successful products and they are reaping enough profits to finance the losses of other products which are new in the market launched by the firm. Then comes marketing economies. A large firm can market its product more efficiently. Marketing does not only mean selling the product, marketing means research and development and whole marketing process. So a large firm can afford to conduct market research comparatively easily at a lower cost, or it can do the product research at comparatively lower cost. And it can advertise or market its product in the market more effectively. And since it is as it is doing on a large scale, then obviously the marketing per unit cost would be lower. So these are the six cost saving advantages which a firm enjoys when it's take its production from a small scale to large scale, and they're referred as internal economies of scale. Now, let's discuss internal diseconomies. Internal diseconomies are the disadvantages of rapid internal growth. A firm sometimes grow too rapidly, not in a sustainable way, and soon diseconomies start, which means its per unit cost starts to rise due to certain inefficiencies on the part of managers and labor. If a firm will take its output on a large scale and then further large scale without due care being given, the things can get out of its control, due to which the per unit cost of the production will start to rise and firm's profitability would start to go down. And mind it, there are two reasons of that: managerial inefficiency and labor inefficiency. Managerial inefficiency occurs because when the size of the firm is growing, its chain of command is getting longer and its span of control is getting wider. A lot of people have to be communicated, a lot of people are to be coordinated with, both vertically and horizontally. And as a result, the firm faces the problem of communication gaps and lack of coordination. There are other problems as well. For example, if a firm is growing, it will have to be decentralized. And when the firm would be decentralized, a lot of departments would be made, a lot of managers would be there, and sometimes There are disputes in the departments as well, among the departments as well. Managers become autocratic. Managers become away from the center. That's why they see their own preferences. Due to these inefficiencies, obviously, the per unit cost or average cost starts to rise and firm faces problem. Then comes labor diseconomies, labor inefficiency. Sorry, we already know that large output requires large number of workers, and as a result, a greater control is needed. And obviously, more supervisors, more managers, line managers would have to be appointed, because of which the supervision cost of the firm would increase. Apart from that, increased number of workers and greater capital intensiveness will make workers insecure and less important, because when a firm expands, it goes from labor intensiveness to capital intensiveness, because of which workers become insecure, they feel less important, and this thing creates a problem of demotivation and lack of involvement. The workers are difficult to be supervised, their performance is difficult to be measured. Some workers would be working more diligently as compared to others. But the firm's management would not be able to see that. And because of that, the firm would not be able to set the incentives of each worker according to their efficiency, according to their productivity. And this sometimes will create motivation problems, involvement problem on the part of those workers who are working responsibly and who are more productive. Secondly, the labor union would become stronger, and because of that, those strong trade unions, there will be distortions. With the help of industrial action, firm will force the management to increase their wages, to increase their facilities. As a result, the cost of production of the firm will increase, and due to that increase in cost, obviously, the average total cost or per unit cost of the firm will increase, and that is referred as internal diseconomies. So, mind it that internal diseconomies are occurring because of main two reasons. Firstly, managerial diseconomies, and then labor diseconomies. But apart from that, there are some other external factors as well, which influence the cost negatively, which influence the productivity negatively. For example, large firms produce on large scale, and therefore they need supplies in large quantities without any break. So when they require supplies without any break, that is a problem, because sometimes it would not be possible, because factors of production are expensive. However, and moreover, the suppliers sometimes face disruptions in their supply chains, and as a result, supplies would not reach the firm timely, and due to which the production will stop, and due to the stoppage in production, the per unit cost would start to rise. Moreover, more workers would be required, and due to that, shortage of skilled workers would sometimes be faced, because the workers might not be available all the time, because when the industry is growing as a whole, then demand for skilled workers increases. Other firms are also looking for skilled workers. So as a result, there would be a shortage of skilled workers, and the firm will face higher wages due to that. On the other part, sometimes the firm will have to employ unskilled workers and will have to train them in case of unavailability. And obviously, training costs are not small costs, they are quite big costs, and the firm will face higher costs because of that. When industry grows, when firm grows, government regulations also become a problem. It has usually been observed that large firms remain under government observation more as compared to small firms. And government regulations are there for the labor rights to avoid environmental degradation. And because of many other social and economic reasons and environmental reasons, government imposes a lot of restrictions and government starts to intervene in the affairs of the firms, due to which cost of the firm increases. For example, if the government will force the firm to use catalytic converters in their chimneys when they're emitting smoke, that will increase the cost of firm, and that obviously increase the per unit cost of the firm, which is referred as diseconomies. So mind it, the internal reasons of increase in costs were managerial inefficiency and labor inefficiency, while the other factors which are occurring outside the firm are shortages of factors of production and their higher prices and government regulations. Now, external economies. These are the cost saving advantages which are not because of firm's action, which are not because of firm taking its production from a small scale to large scale. These are the cost saving advantages which a firm enjoys when the industry in which it is located, the industry of which it is a part of, grows. When industry will grow, the firm will enjoy certain cost saving advantages, and they are referred as external economies because they are not because of firm's action. They are occurring outside the firm's premises, but the firm is benefiting from that. That's why they are referred as economies. A few examples are access to skilled labor at lower cost. When the industry is growing, more workers would pour in into that industry. All the workers would be supplying themselves in the same industry. As a result, the supply of workers initially, at the initial stage only, will increase, and that would lead to lower wages and lower costs. Moreover, the government would be interested in providing infrastructure to firms, and all the firms would benefit from shared infrastructure. Moreover, small supplying firms, which are referred as ancillary firms, would start to locate or concentrate in the same industry, because of which supplies would be quick and at a lower cost because they're easily available in the same vicinity. Government would also be assisting in many ways. For example, in developed countries, government help firms by providing them research and development facility, training of their workers facility, and many other facilities. However, in Pakistan, the government is quite unsuccessful in providing physical infrastructure to firms, because of which we face lack of investment both from inside and outside. There is a big shortage of physical infrastructure in Pakistan, and that is the reason of economic backwardness which we are facing. So physical infrastructure is a lot required. In developed countries, government will take interest in that and will provide physical infrastructure to the firms, water, power, roads, internet facilities, electrical facilities, and all other facilities are regarded as physical infrastructure. Then comes mutual cooperation between firms. When the industry is growing, they form associations between themselves and they develop themselves into a pressure group which helps them in different ways in confronting the trade unions, in confronting the government. That pressure group can pressurize government to provide physical infrastructure and take many other benefits because of that. Their association, their cooperation between the firms create a lot of advantages for themselves. So these are the reasons why per unit cost of the firm will fall because of external reasons, not because of the firm's action. So these were all the advantages and disadvantages of large scale or larger scale production. I hope you would have understood that. If not, you can ask questions. And if not, see the video again and consult the book as well. Take knowledge wherever from it is available. I have given here some review questions. Number one, what is meaning of internal growth? You have to explain that. 4 marks. Explain how the firm will benefit by an increase in scale of production. Obviously, I'm referring to internal economies of scale, the six types. Third question is, how can rapid increase in the size of firm create certain problems? Obviously, here I'm referring to internal diseconomies. See it again and answer the question. And fourth question is, what benefits a firm can enjoy because of the growth of the industry? It is obvious. Yes, I know that you're understanding that it is asking about the external economies. So please attempt these 4 questions and see whether are you able to do that. And if not, if yes, then it is very good. And if not, please consult the books, see the video again, or ask questions for you from your relevant teacher. Thank you very much for today. Keep learning, keep studying. There are a lot of uncertainties. That's why we should not waste any time. Thank you very much. Goodbye. See you.